Hiya, it's Amanda here from Lolli Lulu Crafts and welcome to the first Christmas cards that we're making of the year. It's really one that we really do need to start quite early, so I figured I really ought to start early with the videos. But secondly, it got me thinking about the fact that when you make Christmas cards more than any other cards, although you've got your special ones and you're going to obviously do those with a lot more going on and more techniques or whatever, on the whole you want something that looks great but is actually simple to make and reproduce. So for this particular project, what I want to do is make a set of cards that is going to fit in these Stampin' Up pizza boxes, they're called. And so first of all, I'm going to put together one of these pizza boxes. Now I believe that they will take 5 3x3 cards. So first of all, I want to score along the score lines, and then that one. So what we have now is all those score lines done. So first thing we want to do is fold those edges up, that in, and then it will kind of sit in these notches just here. You can see there's like a little holes down there, and then you're going to pull this bit up and then that flap over these flaps, holding that in. And then those little notches on there will clip into that bit there, and that creates our one end of our little pizza box. And the great thing is, of course, that because it's done like that, you don't have to put any adhesive on, which is fabulous. And then, so that just literally then folds in like so to create our little box. Now obviously we can decorate that as well if we want to make that look nice and pretty, but for the moment that is the box done. So I have also the 3x3 envelopes that Stampin' Up sell that go with this. I think there aren't the cards, I think it's just the envelopes. 1 2 3 4 5, so I pick out 5 of those. They're going to go in there just lovely. And so then what I want to do is cut some card. What I've got here is I've got the Whisper White thick cardstock and I've got the Whisper White regular, so I'm going to need both, but for the actual card base I want the regular, the thick Whisper White. What I'm going to do is I'm going to cut at 6 inches across the short side of this A4 or your letter size if you've got that. So that's going to be 6 inches. And then I'm going to twist it around and I'm going to cut at 3 inches. 1. And we'll see how many we can get. 2. I think we'll get 4 out of this. 3, not even 4 I don't think. Maybe, let's have a look. I suspect this last one. Yeah, this last one's a little bit short, so we've got 3 out of that first sheet. I only want 5, so I'm going to leave this other chunk whole for the minute, and then if I need it for some extras, or if I need an extra card, then I've got that there, but if not, it goes in my wallet, and then I've got the scraps for other things. So now going to our regular Whisper White, and as you'll see, this is what I was talking about with the scraps. You put, because I've got the wallets, I can keep them in there and it makes it nice and easy, and I can now use these. So measuring the little reindeer heads, I know that 1.5 inch square will be perfect for them, so I'm going to cut the white at 1.5 inches now. So then I'm going to cut here at 1.75 inches. I want 1.5 inches. Okay. Cut down like so. So that's 1.5 inches, and then I'm going the other way. So we're going along here and cutting 1, 5, and then just a tiny little piece left. So that's our 5 little mats, and then underneath that I want a gold mat. Now I was thinking about doing gold glitter, but I actually don't have a piece of gold glitter, but I actually thought afterwards that I actually like the idea of this sort of textured linen look gold. I think that what it will do is it won't overshadow the reindeer. But so I'm just doing this at 1 3/4 inches. Okay, so that is our 5th mat nearly. Gosh, I did all of those and I didn't actually measure and check that this was going to work. Yay, that's lucky, wasn't it? So there's that little mat for that. The mat for that. Okay, so that's all of those. So I think that's everything cut. So pop that to one side. Now we're going to bring back the cards and score them. Now what you'll notice is that each job, when you're doing bulk card making, do each job, so like do all the cutting of one element, so all the cutting of the cards, then all the cutting of the white mat, then all the cutting of the gold mat. The reason you do that, by the way, is just it's quicker. Anyway, so now we're going to score our cards. So these are 3 by 3, so we just want to score down at 3 inches. So let's fold these in half. So just making sure the corners are lined up before I absolutely score. So just bending it down, making sure they're lined, and then just sharpening that crease. There we go. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is put my gold layers and my white layers together. So I'm just going to grab these and I'm going to put adhesive on the back, and then I'm going to stick that white layer down in the centre of the gold. Easy peasy. There we go. So there's all 5 of our little mats. So the next thing I've got is some vellum, and I want to cut this into 2 3/4 inch squares, so just under the 3 inches. So there's 5 little vellum squares, so I didn't need that extra whole streaks, which is really good. Just check that it fits okay, because it's basically as a little mini insert. Again, we're just gonna there we go, just to try and make the card look that little bit extra nice. You don't have to put that in if you don't want to. And then on these, what I want to add is a Merry Christmas if I can. So for the inserts, you could stamp and emboss, or just stamp on its own. I find with this pearlescent paper or cardstock or even the vellum, it tends to stay a bit wetter, so you probably, I mean, it will dry, but you wouldn't be able to put it in straight away. But I think that these little peel-off stickers would look quite nice. But actually, I really like them for this sort of thing in particular. I think it works really well. I think it has a really polished finish because of the shine that you've got on them, and there's sort of consistency, and yeah, I just think it works good. But you know, just to stick a sticker down is much simpler than having to stamp and emboss, which is the what you would have to do to get this look. And I think that look really is nice. And actually, I think we're biased against peel-offs because we know what peel-offs are, and therefore there is that perception of them being like a real beginner's type of crafting material. But actually, the person who receives this wouldn't know. All they see is this beautiful gold foiling. So, you know, they think it's great, I'm sure. So that's, again, just how I would perceive it. So then we're going to take our card bases. As I said, I like to put my cards with the fold at the top, but just showing you, doesn't that look really nice? And again, it's just a nice little card, but just adding that in there rather than putting it straight onto the card base, which you could do. You could just put those onto the card base, but that just gives it a little extra something, which is kind of nice, I think. So then just take some tape, run it down the back top of the vellum. I'm going to do it on each of these. You can do it all over the vellum if you want, but I think you'll find it shows through. Doing just at the top, it's not enough on this pearl vellum as well for it to really show through. But also I like the fact that it's loose. I think it really is effective. Of course, I haven't now given myself any room. And then all you want to do is take your little card and then line it up, the vellum at the bottom first, so you've got the two sides have got equal gap and the bottom has got an equal gap, and then just let the top drop down and then position it. If you try and line the top up, what I find is that it doesn't always lay straight, because to a certain extent, I know it sounds crazy, but if the top's slightly off, you're not going to notice it because of the crease with vellum. You will notice if the bottom isn't lined up because it's moving, so it's much more obvious, and obviously it's more exposed as well, so your eye kind of sees it more easily. Okay, so that is those all done on the inside, and I think that looks so pretty with that in there. That's in the wrong one. I think that looks really effective. So now I need to fold those up, and the next thing I want is my 5 little mats. It's like 5 little pigs, isn't it? I'm looking at this and I do think whether you might get more in that little box, you know. I'm going to turn those over. I'm not 3Ding anything, it's because I've got the 3D element with my little Rudolph here. So then all I'm going to do is put some adhesive on these mats. Now, you guys know I'm a little generous with my adhesive, so if you don't want to do it on all 4 sides, then so be it, but I do kind of like to be sure it's going to stick. And then I'm going to centralize this on my card here and stick it down. I'm going for quite a clean and simple look. I'm thinking that, one, it's much quicker to make, but also if you look at a lot of the really sort of quite expensive cards that you see at Christmas in places like John Lewis or whatever, I'm sure, I don't know what the equivalent is in America and the likes, but these big department stores, there often are quite a lot of white space. Now obviously these are much smaller, but I still try to go for that white space, which is hard for me because I like to fill the white space. I think that's probably the one thing, but they do that, and I think that it's sort of an elegance to that, I guess, and it just naturally makes it look quite expensive and really kind of cool. And they do have things like this on it, and that's what's really great. So we've got on here little foam pads that come on the actual little Rudolphs here, so I'm just going to take those, and these are like a fabric almost. I think they're actually almost like a handmade paper. It's really a very nice feel. So I'm not going to push it down yet. I just want to, though he's sticking quite well, let's take my tweezers. I think that might be easier because I couldn't see where to centralize him. I reckon that looks pretty good, do you? Maybe just a margin over. No, apparently not. Okay, so there it is, the first one complete. Doesn't it look really nice? I think it does. Well, I think it looks really nice, and then you just open it up and you've got that really nice simple inside as well. And I think this does remind me of those which is what the inspiration was from, really, those kind of real department store type cards that they do, that they charge you an absolute fortune, which actually when you look at it you think, well, actually there's just these sort of sticker things. You know, I've got a ton of those at home, and they're just very clever design, I guess, that makes it look so good. That's the difference, I suppose, and I was trying to emulate that cleanness of the design. Okay, so that's all 5 put together. Don't they look lovely? I think they look really nice. I'm really pleased with those, and I think that somebody would probably think that you got these in some really nice department store, frankly. I don't think they look like some handmade sticker card, and yet that's actually essentially all they are, isn't it? But again, tell me what you think. I mean, you don't have to even put a sticker in the centre. You could put a lovely little die cut holly section if you wanted. You could do your own elements. You don't have to buy a sticker. You could, you know, get something yourself and die cut it as well. So there's all, or you could stamp into that. You could just put a sentiment into the middle there. I mean, there's all sorts of things, but I think the idea was that whatever you put in as your central design was the actual card itself was pretty simple, and you could use it in many different ways. I mean, you could take this card and make it an A6 card, or I'm not sure what size that would be in America, but it's your letter size card cut in half and then folded, so whatever that is. It's not quite, but it's nearly there. But so that's sort of slightly bigger oblong type card. Now let's just see what we can do with this little box here. Okay, so there it is done. All I did was just put some little gold of that gold on the box. I thought I wanted to keep it really simple, and then I just added a little bit of these glistening gems in the gold there to add a little extra, just something to finish it. And then inside we've got our cards. It's a little tight with the height of the little critters, so you definitely can just get the 5 and that's it. You might be able to sort of spread them over a little bit and see if they'll be happy. I mean, they'll go down and the lid stays down, but they're I've had to alternate them as well to make sure of that. But there they are. That is our finished cards for today, and I think they turned out really well. I hope you like them as much as I do. I'm really pleased with how they finished up, and just a really simple but effective little Christmas card. And you could make loads of these, and you could make them look very different as well each time, with different size cards with different elements on the front, but the principle could be the same, which is always good with these Christmas cards. We want to find a design that we can do a number of them the same and sort of, you know, crack 10 or 20 of them out of the way and be done. And of course, if you're selling them, obviously if you're just keeping them for yourself, then you probably don't need the little box. But I thought if you're selling them, or if you're giving them away as gifts, so, you know, I know some people send a box of cards as a gift to your friends, your non-crafty friends, so that they can send out cards to their friends with your handmade Christmas cards. Then this is a really nice way to do that. Anyway, I hope you have enjoyed this video, and I will definitely be doing more Christmas cards in the future, obviously, but I mean in the near future, and I will see you again soon. And oh, and don't forget to, if you're on YouTube, to go on across to the blog post. You'll find it in the paragraph, the link to it in the paragraph below this video where it says show more. Click on that and it then will open up and you'll see in that paragraph the link to the blog post. Now you definitely want to make sure you go across there because there'll be loads of photos of the finished cards and all close-ups and stuff. Thank you so much for watching and I will see you again soon. Bye for now. Bye.